Well, hello everyone. Welcome into Flying with Mike. Wow, it has been one of those kind of crazy days that we all have and enjoy. Um, enjoy to hate. But anyway, we finally are getting time to do a stream here. We've been quite busy today. A lot of things going on. I'm just not at liberty right now to talk about. The only thing I will make mention of Friday, there will be no flying with Mike. Got to be out of town. So we will not be up and going that day. Hopefully, tomorrow and Thursday will make up for these two. All right. And then, of course, we all know Friday being Good Friday, our verse of the day you all saw in the chat, coincides with that. A big week this week, Holy Week. And a lot of stuff happened between Palm Sunday and Thursday night with the Last Supper, Friday with the crucifixion. So the verse goes into one of the events where Jesus toppled the all the stands at the temple where the line, "This is a house of prayer, not a house of, not a den of robbers." Lot about why Jesus did that. Well, we may. Not sure we'll get into it today because this is actually a pretty short flight. But just a lot going on. And Sunday, of course, being Resurrection Sunday. To everyone else, it's called Easter. So, all right. So today we are continuing with Sim Air Force, our adventures with them. We are in Destin, Florida. Those of you on that side of the military fence, that's where we're at. And by the way, that tree line down there, that's where the commercial airliners go. Where we're at, we're on the military side. That's what this airport was made known for, Eglin Air Force Base. Another, like Edwards, a big testing base. Uh, a lot goes on here. Live fire and all of that. So anyway, we've gonna go ahead and move the general from the beach to another beach. Actually, we were kind of hoping to chase a graveyard, make this kind of a spooky flight. Well, it's not in X-Plane 12. My hopes have been dashed, and it's not there. However, there is some payware scenery out there for the graveyard. If you don't know what I'm talking about, pull up Google, look at Savannah International. Now, you may have to scroll in a little bit, but there are two graves in the runway. So, but anyway, we won't see it in X-Plane 12. I was told we would. Liar, liar, pants on fire. No. But anyway, we're still going to go to Savannah. That's actually an airport I visited for about how long were we there? About a week or two. My first not mandatory 2 week deployment, but one of the many deployments our Air National Guard base did back then, before Desert Storm, Desert Shield, all of that. We're talking way back. We're talking pterodactyls and all flew. Tires were actually still from Firestone, made of stone. You know, we're talking back in history here, folks. No, for me, at least. That was my first time I went with my unit with no stripes, by the way, at that time. To our first deployment, we followed the A7s that were assigned to us. We always had to send some people. I got to go on my first deployment, got to get my first in-flight emergency on that run down to Savannah, and almost my first crash. An F4 for that first emergency hit a lot of seagulls, blew the canopy, or the front part of it, not the part that you see lift all the time. And he was threatening to punch out. which means eject, which means the plane's going to crash. But he safely landed it there and put it on the ramp. And from there on, hey, great, never knew about that ghost story. Never showed it to us. Never anything. So, little fun fanfare about that airport. It's actually a fun time. Really have to admit that was fun being there. So, all right, I know you didn't come here to hear me babble. So again, we're flying from Eglin Air Force Base, as the title says, to Savannah, Georgia. Not the new airport. I think there's one actually out on Hilton Island. Again, not 100% sure, but this airport is called Savannah Hilton Head International Airport in Savannah, Georgia. And for those saying, no, you went to Hunter. No, that one I would have remembered. No, we went to Savannah because across the main runway 1028, Gulfstream. Yeah, Gulfstreams were made here. So anyway, or there. We're not there yet, so we'll be there shortly. It's a 300-mile flight. Let's get to work, shall we? Lost my mouse there. There it is. All right. Again, 737-700 cockpit from LevelUp. We're in the colors of the C40s. Now, technically, still incorrect. Technically, the C40s are actually derived off the BBJs that are out there. However, I don't know of any BBJs that are within LevelUp. So the 737-700, same airframe, just not designation. And a whole lot less seats. All right, so that's the backdrop for today. Also, we have reset the clock to about 9:30 local time a.m. And the reason I do that, and I tell people this specifically, because I do like to show the airplane in flight. Now, this flight being under 400 miles, we may have stayed daylight, but I don't think so. I think the sun's getting close to setting there, and I like to be able to see it when I go out. Now, granted, flying at night in most any sim is a lot easier because you can find your airports a lot further out. So, 6.5 one, half a dozen other. All right, so let's get to work here. Let's bring Sim Toolkit in and take a look at this pretty easy flight. Easy peasy. All right. Now, by the way, we are indeed on VATSIM. Sitting on the ramp here in Eglin, we have Jacksonville. For most of the trip, they may hand us to Atlanta for a little sliver, may or may not. We'll see. You can see it here on the map. Atlanta, Jacksonville. Payload for today, 97 peeps, 5,335 pounds of cargo. The big thing we're going to be watching for is where our zero fuel ends up and see how that works. Payload 22,310, block fuel 12,647. All right, there's our easy route. CEW, PZD, lots, Savannah, here we are. 13 for the cost index, 39,000. I think we can do it, and I'll we do have sim brief back, and we'll get to that later. Weather. Right now showing runway 2. However, with the winds at 340 at 10, we might get away with a 30 departure. Not sure yet. We'll see. 10 miles clear, 27 degrees. Beautiful Florida Sunset ahead of them at 81 degrees. Just a beautiful day there. Headed over to Savannah. We're going to come in runway 28 as it stands right now. 310 on the winds. And 310 at 12, gusty to 28. So this could be fun. Peak wind was 310 at 28 at 22:45. That's about an hour old, I think. So that's not too far back. I think the winds have finally, nope, they're still kind of puffing around here in St. Louis. So we'll see. All right, again, here is our lovely flight. You can see not much going on here, folks. Just Destin to Savannah, and again, we'll probably come in from the east to the west. That's right now. Now, there is a north-south runway. I haven't even looked at it, so we'll take a look at it as we go through getting the plane set up. All right, and with that, let's get the plane set up. All right, let's get the preliminaries out of the way. The battery switch is obviously on because we have power on the plane, as is standby power, as is ground power. And we've got the AC/DC switch on ground power, and cabin utilities on, IFE is on, and emergency lights armed already, exterior lights set for the ground right now. And with that, anti-collision light. Interesting term. We're not going to get into it, but definitely not what I was trained back in the 80s when I actually flew little planes. That was not what an anti-collision light was. In Boeing terms, it's the red lights. The beacons on your planes, the red lights. Yeah, they were called beacons back then, or in Cessna Piper world. Anti-collision lights were the strobes on the wingtips, and white light on the tail. Yeah, a lot. Yeah, it's fun to see it. So, all right, let's get to it. Now, we got to go up top here. I've got the IRS system off. We'll get it turned on here in a minute. Let's do the precursors. I still think stall warning should be as loud, if not louder, than the Mach speed overspeed. But whatever. 3 green, off and off, and everything looks good here. Reverser lights aren't lit. EECs are on. Test of the devices, and basically it's testing the lights to tell you another way to tell you where your flaps and slats are. ELT's armed. Now, one tip I'll give you. The IRS display up here, this took me a couple of years to actually learn, and I like to hand this off every time I get it. Turn your display selector up here to heading status before you turn your IRS back on. What it's going to tell you up here is how many minutes to alignment. The one thing that bugged me about this plane, and I think it was the 747, I never knew how long to alignment. That's where you found it. Might have been the 777, but they also eventually moved to giving you times in the nav display, but this aircraft they never did. So if you move it to heading status, you'll get that. All right, let's go to align on DC, align on DC. When the align light lit, go to nav, align light lit, go to nav. 6 minutes. We're going to be a little faster, and the reason you want to know that time is so you can get your numbers for your coordinates in. I meant to get rid of that 5 seconds ago and forgot. There we go. All right, So again, now, next couple of days, be looking for that infamous email from Navgraph saying, it's update time. It's today, either tomorrow or the next day, we're going to see it, April 16th. So when your calendar says it, usually is when that email's there. Otherwise, you'll get nav data out of sync. How I usually get it is I'll set a flight up in SimBrief and it'll go nav data out of cycle or something like that. And that's when I go, oh, crud, and go in here and start the FMC updates. And then there's a couple of others I got to hand do. So anyway, that's coming up. Just a quick heads up. Also, US folks, you have until midnight tax day. That's all I'll say. You have been warned. I hope you have it done or extended or whatever. Okay, pause in. Put in the airport. K Victor Papa Sierra. Don't have to worry about a gate. Even if you were on the commercial side, it really doesn't change much here. To get your IRS position, go to the next page. Today is the 15th, so we'll go. I just kind of alternate between these two depending on odd or even day. Odd days left, even days right. That's just me. Pick your own system. It doesn't matter. They're all the same. And put it right there. Go to route. And you don't technically have to fill these out. I do. Look at how much work that did. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to charge the company triple for 30 seconds of typing or clicking or pushing with my finger if I was in the real thing. All right, that's all you got to do right now. We can go back and get the plane up to date because when the IRS gets to 0, no, they're not coming after you for your text. It's your INS, Inertial Navigation, Inertial Reference System is what that stands for. Same thing as INS, just a little fancy. Once that reaches 0, it'll automatically take the coordinates you put in on the FMC and use those to position the gyro gizmos and all in there that make up the inertial reference system to where you are. Okay. Many times it's off your GPS. So that's all we got to do up here for now. Once we align, we'll go to PPOS for your position, which you'll then see the coordinates up there. However, we're going to go here. All right, let's continue on. So we knew the cabin and the IFE were already on. Emergency lights were already on. Probe heats are off. Any ice, wings, and engine are off. Hydraulic pumps, electric pumps I've already turned off. Engine pumps are on, but technically off. Okay, just because the switch is in on does not mean they're actually spinning out there. No, they come on when the engines come on. So they're technically off, but they're in the on position. That's really confusing. Trim air we don't have on a 737-700. I won't mention the gentleman's name, but thank you for that. I did not know that about this plane. The isolation valve we do have open, packs are both on, and for now the APU is in the off position. Okay, so the bleed air will be off. Engine bleeds can be on, but again, they're not doing anything because the engines aren't on. And we'll get the fuel going here in a minute and all of that. Okay, we'll come back to where we were. Let's get over here and let's start putting stuff in this plane. What do you think? This is one of the things I love. It's been acting kind of weird today, so I think I may actually have to restart the computer. But anyway, Let's load in, make sure our numbers look fairly decent. Sim brief says okay, we have 97 peeps, 53.35 for cargo, and 118. Wait a minute. Let's take off. Wait, 106,429. Good. 112, 12,647. Let's load it. Oh, wait, I did that. Let's activate it. And if we back up a page, it'll kind of tell us what's going on. Give it a second, and the fuel will start up. Let's see what's going on out there. The moment, nothing. Ooh, we have somebody over in the passenger area. Ooh. All right, refueling is started. Are we going to actually see stuff or not? I don't think we're going to see anything, so I may have to reload this plane at another date. All right, so we're refueling. The hint, we can start the people coming aboard by hitting the no smoking switch to on or to auto. So basically, if you take no smoking, okay, for mine says usually it triggers off chime, but anyway, we'll move the chime to on. Cool. We'll hold for the moment. Let's finish this all up. Once we're done refueling, we'll get that EPU going. Heaven to Betsy, we would not want the general to sweat. I mean, perspire. Those of you that are Winchester fans from MASH. So for now, let's press on and get our FMC up and running. Actually, let's do this right. Whoops. Let's go to 20. And let's go to map. Let's go here, zoom in. And I might back off just a little. There we go. I better get a little more. There we go. All right, why I want to be able to see this, you'll see in a minute here. But basically, let's get our flight plan. Now, we do have a question that came in from, I think it was our last adventure in this plane, and we'll get to that. I have not forgotten the question. I've never had it happen to me, that's why. So we're going to see if this one does it. It's doing a lot of other funky things. Who knows? Who knows? All right. Okay, now we're still showing runway 2, which, by the way, is a valid runway for the wind condition. Hang on a second. Let me bring charts in. Okay, winds 340 at 10. Airport chart. And that's as of, oh, now 350 at 8, 21 minutes ago. All right, so where we're at here, we can come out, come down to runway 2, or cross over and take off on runway 30. You're looking at really, well, actually now runway 2 is kind of more favorable. It's only a 30-degree cross on it instead of close to 50. Okay, so we'll stick with runway 2. There are no departures. It says so right here. So the cool thing is we'll just take off runway 2, bank over to CEW, get on course, unless our illustrious center guy, which by the way, on the way in here was not really cool. So hopefully we have a different guy or gal, I don't know. So, and by the way, this chart down here in the corner for the parking over in the commercial area, where you see C1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that terminal is now up in X-plane scenery. Was not there in 1.4. Happened to see it as we came in. So I was like, oh, wow. We did get something pretty cool. And for those that want the coordinates, they're only going to be for here. All right. Oh, you're going to pardon me. There'll be times I may all of a sudden cut out. It's because I've either got a cough or blow out my nose. Allergies are not being nice to me this year. Okay, so again, we'll come off, bank over to CEW or whatever to approach, center, approach, departure, whatever they call themselves at that point. Okay, so that's actually pretty easy. Gotta love it. Sorry for that. All right, go to a departure page though real quick. Just make sure runway 2 is selected, execute, go to legs. We'll leave it as is. And on departure, I'll just turn it and we'll go direct. Okay, but here's why I do it. I check everything, make sure, excuse me, nothing got put in wrong. And there's Savannah. Again, looking at our area for destination, no arrivals, same word except star, standard terminal arrival routes are available. We do have a bunch of approaches though. So let's click select and it's going to show us what we have available. Again, we're coming into runway 28, so it's going to be RNAVs. I'm okay in this plane with RNAVs. So what Jacksonville will do for us at that point, I have no idea. But right now we might get lucky and get Kusi, but I'm going to go ahead, click departure arrivals, Savannah. Look for the 28. Which one are we on? Zulu. That one. Okay. Koosas. Click and execute because we do not have any stars. Come over here. Next page. I'm going to leave the discontinuity in here for now. Coming off lots, unless they say otherwise, I'm going to plan to go to Savannah VOR and fly from whatever they want me to do at that point. But yeah, we can accept the RNAV Zulu Koosas transition for our arrival. So you can kind of see we'd bounce out and turn around. Okay, it is what it is. It looks pretty good. All right, and then looking at the chart, we're going to go out to Tilly if we have a missed approach. Okay, now, unfortunately, Boeing is different, as we would expect, than Airbus. Airbus would then allow you to go to your alternate by putting that in here. Boeing, you had to have put that in as a company route, and yeah, it's a total pain. Secondary, fourth route, who knows? But yeah, you know, a little easier in Airbus. So, all right, back to route. Now let me scroll up, go back to map. Yeah, I'll stay there. All right, now let's click perfit. We should be done fueling. Yeah, we've been done. Dang it. None of the voice is coming in again. Left pump on. APU coming on. Okay, and we'll just wait on it, and then we'll get the people loading. Tell the general, hey, it's time to go. Golf course is waiting for you. It's taking its sweet time. And while we're here, I'll go ahead get rid of charts because I'm about to forget about it. See how it sounds. I don't hear it. Uh-oh. Okay, what's going on with my phone? There we go. I don't know what the heck just happened with it, but it's kind of something I use to hopefully catch chatter. All right, so the gens are available. We didn't hear much. And we can turn the bleed on and APU bleed or gen, sorry. Now, again, remember the hint. No smoking switch to on or auto. Give it a couple seconds and we'll see them loading. And that's all. There's what I'm looking for. Okay, let's continue on. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is request. While that's going on, I am going to start ACARS. All right, we are online. Okay, all we got to do is click load. There'll be no accept or executes. Just taking data from the plane. So 390 is good. All right. Reserve for this flight. 7. Alternate for today's flight is Atlanta, by the way. Wish I'd have thought about it. I'd have made Charleston. Okay. Don't click request again. Click N1 limits. Hang on. All right. Now, to start filling this out, let me bring Sim Toolkit in. I wasn't able to do this yesterday, but today I can. All right. What I've done here with Sim Toolkit, I've added SimBrief and NavGraph charts. I could do this all from right here now. However, we'll just click SimBrief, find our flight by going to View Flight Plan. 97, everything looks good. Okay. Now you got a couple of options. You could go to Performance, Tools. You'll have to fill in all of this data. And that'll give you a nice map to let you know where V1, rotate, V2 is, just so you know it. Or up here at the top from your flight plan, if you click Takeoff Predict or Performance, all of your information is already loaded. Just double check it. Because I have come into this a couple of times where the takeoff weight estimated that it may be was actually the maximum. That makes a big difference. Okay, so takeoff weight matches, and I'm looking at it on SimBrief on another screen. And everything else looks good. Calculate. All right, message at the bottom is going to tell you when we go through this on the FMC, our V numbers will be different. They're increased to improve for climb limitations. Cool. We'll take it. All right. But again, that is something nice. Now, I already know through another friend of mine, another person that comes on from time to time, these numbers may or may not be truly accurate. That's why it's called Flight Sim, and that's why it puts not for navigation real world use. However, I get where he's coming from, and he would have a way to at least help improve. Okay. All right, so let's do it. So our V1 for today is 132, 135, 142. How do we get to this point? Very simple. All right, so our inputs and our outputs. Flaps 1, we're not on that page yet. So let's go to top line 51. Takeoff is going to be a D takeoff 2. And we're going to go ahead plan. It's selected climb 2 for us, so we'll take it. Next page. Click CG. Now, if you put the flaps in, you'll get the numbers. However, I go to page 2. Runway winds are 350 at 8. Runway slope you can get from Sim Toolkit. You can get from charts. And you can get from SimBrief if you use the performance tools. We're going to be up 0.1. diagonal. Runway heading is 015. Sounds like the main door may have just closed. Okay, after you filled this page in, you're back. All right, that tells us they're ready to go back there. We're going flaps 1. And again, remember I told you 132, 135, 142. That's what I'm going to go with. 132, 135. All right, I already heard the question in the back there. Understood. Yes, you could just click these over and you're just fine. Turn them off, and that way they don't bug you. All right, final steps, and we'll be ready to go. First thing, let's, hang on, let me check something up here. Oh, we don't have that switch. Cool. Okay, final steps that I was telling you are these. We're going to set our speed. I set V2 plus 10. Usually it's an easy number, just add 10. In our case, that would be 142 plus 10. If you don't know, ask your children. Set that, and oh, we don't know, so we'll leave it at 4,000 for now. Flight directors on, and fuel flow switch reset, and minimums for this flight. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in here just because it makes it easier. I missed the altimeter. 3001. And it's setting the other side too. All right, we're all set up here. See if Jacksonville is still up. I hate when they do this. Oh, which one? $135,925. We'll start there.
Southwest 5796, contact Jacksonville Center, 133.32. Have a nice landing. Over to Jacksonville Center on 133.32. Thank you, South 5796. FedEx 1289, contact Atlanta Center on a 132.907. 132.97, FedEx 1289. Thanks for everything.
Jacksonville Center, Sim Air Force 18 at Eglin Air Force Base. Request clearance to Savannah as filed.
Sim Air Force 18, Jacksonville Center. Good evening. Contact Jacksonville Center on 133.32.
All right, over to 133.2. I'll find it though. Oh boy. Jacksonville Center, Sim Air Force 18, Eglin Air Force Base. Request clearance to Savannah.
Miss 1, contact Jack Center 135.92. Bye-bye. 3592, thanks. You're welcome. CMF 18 Jack Center, hello, you're cleared to the you're cleared to the Savannah Airport as filed. Maintain 3000, expect level 390, 10 minutes after departure. Departure is with me, this frequency, squawk 4204.
All right, Sim Air Force 18 cleared as filed to Savannah. Initial climb 3000. 10 minutes after, flight level 390, 4204. Departures with you. We're ready to start up.
CMF 18 readback is correct. Your push and your start is at your discretion. Just call me ready for taxi. It's going to be 1-2 for departure.
Understand runway 12, not runway 2.
I'm sorry, CMF 18, you're correct. It's runway 2, not runway 12. My apologies.
I was going to say that's going to be a big tailwind. That's why I was about to change or ask for a change. All right, we'll plan runway 2, Sim Air Force 18.
Jacksonville Center, Delta 1958 with taxi up to runway 26.
All right, so we're set. He said 4204.
Delta 1958, runway 26, taxi via Hotel Alpha, call me holding short. Alright, 26 via Hotel Alpha, we will advise when we're holding short.
All right, 4204.
Southwest, there's just one the runway heading, when do you want to make a turn?
Okay, we're ready to go.
Saying they're on runway heading? Southwest 350, we're still on the runway heading. Sorry, Delta 350, never saw you call when you took off there. Climbing team for level 230, clear direct heaven.
I'd love that clearance.
Did you say Southwest 350 or Delta 350? Southwest 350. Roger, Southwest 350 will have direct heaven. And Southwest 350, climbing team for level 230. 230, Southwest 350.
Okay.
Underground at Charleston, that was blocked. You said you were ready for taxi? Affirmative. And was that American or was that the Mac? Midwest 266.
Oh, I know what I've been looking for. Hang on.
Okay, Midwest 266, would you like runway 15 instead? I just kind of realized a little late that 21 might be a little short for you. I think we should be good on 21. Our performance says we're good. Okay, no problem. Midwest 266, runway 21, taxi via Bravo Alpha, cross runway 33 at Alpha. Bravo Alpha, cross 33 at Alpha for 266.
All right, let's crank them. Everything's set here, set. One last check.
Southwest 5796, reset transponder, squawk 1574.
1574, Southwest 796.
Okay, got number 1 fired up. Now, we didn't have to do anything with our
Southwest 5796, thanks for the help there. Orlando
hydraulics
124.8, now you have to land.
because
Thank you very much. Good day,
we're in the
796.
blocks and we're going to pull straight ahead. Okay. Looks like we're pretty well spun up. Let's get generators on.
And Midwest 266 will be ready to go at the end. Midwest 266 on departure, fly runway heading 12609, runway 21, clear for takeoff. Runway heading runway 21, clear for takeoff, 266 heavy. American 1344, you ready for taxi?
Abram, just about to call you for Delta, American 1644.
American 1344, runway 15, taxi via Delta. Call me holding short, unless you'd like runway 21.
We've already put in for 15, so Delta, and we'll call you holding short. American 1344.
Ready. Delta 1958, are we supposed to call you right now that we're holding short, or like once we're by the runway? You can tell me once you're by the runway holding short. Alright, but do you want us at Echo, or I think it's Bravo, for, like, where do you want us holding short? You can hold short up, all the way up at Charlie. Alright, we'll hold short on Charlie.
Since it's a pretty short taxi, let's get a lot of our takeoff ready to go. I do have one thing that I forgot last time. We're getting this time. Had to do it on the runway, so trying to get these things ironed out. ACARS is running.
Midwest 266, radar contact.
All right.
Maintain for level 230.
Here we go.
Midwest 266, clear direct Tallow. Direct Tallow? Correct, clear direct Tallow, Tango Alpha Lima Lima Oscar. Direct Tallow, 5670, thank you much. Very well.
And Jack Center, Sim Air Force 18 at Eglin, ready to taxi for runway 2.
Step.
Jacksonville Center, Sim Air Force 18, ready to taxi, runway 2.
Sim Air Force 18, Roger, runway 2. Sorry, just verify, what taxiway are you closest to right now?
Closest taxiway Romeo at Whiskey.
Alright, Sim Air Force 18, runway 2, taxi via Romeo Golf, call me holding short.
All right, Romeo Golf will call you holding short, runway 2. Thanks. Sim Air Force 18.
VPS 1225 ready for push.
Push and start's your discretion, just call me ready for taxi. Southwest 350 Jackson at 135.92. 135.92, see ya, Southwest 350. And safety, would it be fine if we stay here for a little bit so we can run through some checklists before departure? Sure.
All right, final checks here. We're going to 6. All right, ATC to Terra.
Midwest 266 Jackson at 135.92, good day.
13592, see ya, Midwest 266.
American 1344, wind 260 at 9 on departure, fly runway heading, runway 15, quick takeoff. American 1344, wind 260 at 9 on departure, fly runway heading, runway 15, quick takeoff.
Clear for takeoff 15. Apologies, we're just waiting for our brakes to cool. We might need another 5 minutes.
Okay, no worries. American 1344, cancel takeoff, clearance, hold short, runway 15.
Hold short runway 15, American 1344.
1958, ready to go. Delta 1958, wind 290 at 9 on departure, fly runway heading, runway 26, clear for takeoff. 26, clear for takeoff, runway heading.
Jacksonville Center, Sim Air Force 18, ready to go, runway 2 at Gulf.
Sim Air Force 18, on departure, fly runway heading, runway 2, quick takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway heading, Sim Air Force 18. Auto throttle on. Auto brake. Weather. Terrain. Here we go. All right, now we got an interesting clearance here if you all were paying attention. We're to go to, what do you say, 3,000, 10 minutes after departure, flight level 390. I've never got an answer to the question. If 10 minutes pass, do I get to go or do we call? So anyway, let me set 3,000. All right, here we go.
Jack Center, good evening, Riddle 307.
Riddle 307, Jackson, hello.
Yes, sir. Riddle 307, we're at Daytona Beach with the weather, likely to park VFR south at 2000.
Hey, Riddle 307, just to verify, what's your aircraft type?
We're a DA62 slant golf for Riddle 307.
Alright, Riddle 307, let me know when you're ready for taxi.
And we're ready for taxi, Riddle 307.
Okay, sorry about that. Riddle 307, runway 25 right, taxi via Romeo. Actually, I'm sorry, not Romeo. Taxi via November 11.
November 11, 25 right for Riddle 307.
Jacksonville Center, American 1344. We're ready. Runway 15.
American 1344, fly runway heading, runway 15, clear for takeoff.
Runway heading 15, clear for takeoff. American 1344.
Jacksonville, Riddle 312 at Daytona, ready for taxi. We're also a DA62 slant golf. We'll be VFR to the west.
Alright, Riddle 312, you're ready for taxi as well, I'm assuming?
Hey, affirmative.
Okay, Riddle 312, taxi behind the, I don't know what to call you, company, school, whatever.
Oh, taxi behind the other one.
Dang.
Jacksonville Center, Sim Air Force 18 off Eglin 3000, runway heading.
Sim Air Force 18, radar contact, climb maintain for level 230, clear direct the Pecan VOR.
Which VOR?
That's Papa Zulu Delta.
Direct Papa Zulu Delta, Sim Air Force 18, climbing to 23,000.
Jacksonville Center, good evening, Southwest 2483 with you, climbing through 9,000 for 12,000.
Southwest 2483, Jackson, hello, climb maintain for level 2, climb maintain for level 260.
Climb to flight level 260, Southwest 2483. Riddle 307, chart at 25 right, ready to go.
Riddle 307, 12309, runway 25 right, straight up departure is approved.
Straight out departure approved for Riddle 307, clear for takeoff 25 right.
Riddle 312, runway 25 right, line up away.
Alright, line up and wait 25 right, Riddle 312, thanks.
Delta 19 to the 8000. UPS 1225, ready for taxi. Delta 1958, climb maintain for level 230, clear direct to Crosby. 330 Crosby, Delta 1958.
Center, American 1344. 4,000 climbing.
Sorry, who's 4,000 climbing?
American 1344.
American 1344, radar contact, climb maintain for level 230, clear direct state.
Direct state and flight level 230, American 1344.
UPS 1235, ready for taxi. UPS 1225 Jackson, hello. Would you like runway 14 instead? Or 32 there?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, UPS 1225 runway 32, taxi via Sierra, November, uniform, call me holding short.
Taxi runway 32 via Sierra, November, uniform, UPS 1225.
Jacksonville Center, good evening, Southwest 3909, 15,500 for 1010,000 direct, Myrtle Beach.
Southwest 3909 Jackson, hello, welcome on board. The Myrtle Beach altimeter is 2984.
Copy, Southwest 3909. And Jackson, Riddle 307, level in 2000.
Riddle 307, Roger. Are you flight following on this?
Negative, Riddle 307.
Okay, Riddle 307, you can resume on navigation and maintain appropriate VFR altitudes at your discretion.
Alright, VFR altitude my discretion and own nav for Riddle 307.
Riddle 312, right crosswind departure is approved, wind 230 at 9, runway 25 right, clear for takeoff.
Alright, right cross on the way out, 25 right, clear for takeoff, Riddle 312.
Southwest 3909, pilot's discretion to center maintain 3000. Do you have an approach request into Myrtle Beach, or are you okay still with the visual for 36?
So maintain 3000 and, yep, visual for 36 is what we're planning on, Southwest 3909.
Right. Sierra Air Force 18, Jack Center 135.92. Have a good night.
13592, Sim Air Force 18. Thanks for the ATC. See ya.
You're very welcome. See you. American 1344, same for you, Jax on 135.92. Have a good night.
At Jacksonville Center, Sim Air Force 18 with you through 6,000 for flight level 230.
Sim Air Force 18, Jacksonville Center, good evening, climb maintain flight level 390, welcome aboard.
All right, continuing to flight level 390, Sim Air Force 18, thanks. Okay, that was a little fun. Hope you all enjoyed.
Swan, you back on my frequency?
In Jacksonville Center, Delta 1958, at 11,000.
I just had two at the same time. American 1914, was that one of you? Okay, American 1344. Okay, last aircraft calling, say again?
Delta 1958 at 12,000.
Delta 1958, Jacksonville Center, good evening. Climb and maintain, flight level 350.
Climb and maintain 350, Delta 1958. And have a request.
Go ahead.
Would we be able to step out on the flight deck for 10 minutes?
Yeah, that's approved. Report back.
Alright, we'll report.
Jacksonville Center, American American 1344, 14,000, climbing flight level 230.
American 13, was that 1357?
1344 for American.
American 1344, Jacksonville Center, hello, climb maintain, flight level 380.
Up to flight level 380, American 1344.
Busy.
Jacksonville Center, good evening, American 914 with you.
American 1344, correction. For now, climb maintain, flight level 370.
Flight level 370, American 1344.
Jacksonville Center, Southwest 2483, good evening. Climbing to 260, required 340.
Southwest 2483, Jacksonville Center, good evening, climb maintain, flight level 340.
Climb maintain flight level 340, Southwest 12483. Jacksonville Center, American 914, checking in with you, flight level 340.
American 914, Jacksonville Center, welcome aboard. Southwest 350, contact my Jacksonville Center 132, correction, 133.32.
133.2, Southwest 350. See you.
133.32.
133.32, Southwest 350.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, I haven't been able to talk much to y'all tonight. Oh, we got contrails in the air ahead of us. Not showing up on TCAS. We are. Okay. All right, what is PZD's frequency? Uno.
Tech Center, good evening. United 584's flight level 20.4, climbing flight level 260 on the Osprey. Oh, sorry, he gave us direct Rossi.
United 584, Jacksonville Center, good evening, climb maintain, flight level 340.
Climb maintain flight level 340, United 584.
Moose 1, you back with me? Hello?
Hey, Duluth, you there?
American 1639, leaving Myers Space to the west, monitor advisor.
Over to advisory. It looks lonely the rest of the way, but we'll try and keep our emotions in check. Thanks for the service. We'll see you. American 1639.
Will do. American 1357, contact Washington Center 133.72.
133.72 for American 1357. Have a great night.
Jacksonville Center, Seabreeze 313 is on the ground at Int'l Air Force Base. Are we in your airspace?
Yeah, contact Jacksonville Center 133.32.
Center 3332, thanks.
Jacksonville Center.
Southwest 2689, this is Atlanta Center on guard. If you hear this transmission, switch to my frequency 132.907.
Southwest 2483, that's approved. Report back.
Right, sir. We report back. Thank you, sir.
Moose 1, Jacksonville Center.
Jack Center, Spirit Wing 724, we're back with you.
Spirit Wing 724, welcome back. Oh, hey, welcome back for real, actually. Radar contact, let's see here. Radar contact 30 miles east of the Tallahassee Airport, flight 370. Welcome back.
Appreciate it. How's it going, bud?
Very good.
Jacksonville Center, Moose 1's back. Sorry, we had to let somebody in. It was an emergency. We're the key holder of the building.
Moose 1, no problem. At your discretion, descend and maintain 11,000. Correction for level 240.
Down to 240 for Moose 1, thank you.
And Jacksonville Center, Delta 1958, back with you.
Delta 1958, Jacksonville Center, welcome back.
All right, we're back with y'all. Got him awake. Actually, he wasn't asleep, but you know, it's always a good one to use with ATC. Anyway, we are 36,000. PZD is a few miles ahead, and wow, what a flight! Wow, and yet the best is yet to come. All right. Now, if you're not familiar with Savannah Hilton, we kind of made mention of it. It is kind of a spooky flight.
Contact Jacksonville Center 133.32.
3332, thanks.
They built 1028 over 4 graves. Well, 2 graves, very close to 2 others. Now, I said in the beginning, Savannah was an airport I went to as my first not mandatory 2-week deployment with the Air National Guard, and nobody ever said anything about this story. So I would love to know a lot more about the tale here at Savannah. But yeah, there are 2 grave, would you call them markers today or what? But anyway, 2 cement marks in runway 10, 28,
1344, contact Atlanta Center.
near the 10 end. And if you and traffic conditions allow, they'll let you know the story and allow you to taxi and take pictures if you'd like. Again, allowing for traffic. So really an interesting airport. Now, flight sim wise, XP12.2.0 does not have those 2 markers in it. There is a scenery out there. I think it's like 15, 16, 17 bucks. They did include it. So your call, your choice. We are not going to be able to see them. We're default scenery. So, but a great tale, great story. Like I said, I'd love to learn more. Couple good videos out there about it with general aviation pilots coming in to look. So if you're into that. But for now, we're approaching flight level 390. I'll be nice to the general and seatbelts off and okay, there you have it.
Sim Air Force 18 at your discretion is to maintain flight level 240.
Sim Air Force 18, understand at our discretion, descend to flight level 240. All right, we just made the turn. We are now not very far. I guess they are going to keep us. Hang on. Yeah, we should have been handed off at this point to Atlanta, but I figured they may keep us in jacks. Okay, so let's come over here. One thing, let's see.
Jacksonville Center, hello. UPS 1225, flight level 210 and climbing.
UPS 1225, Jacksonville Center, good evening, climb maintain, flight level 350.
Do a quick
Flight level 350, UPS 1225.
quick numbers game. Uh-oh. Oh, they switched on us. No, they're 290, so I don't know what they're doing. Oh, we got an ATIS.
And Delta 1958, would we be able to get a lower altitude like 330?
Okay, that's not a bad wind.
Delta 1958, Roger, just what's your request expressing altitude?
Okay, ATIS is telling us,
Follow 330.
wow,
The aircraft that's
296?
following me is 350, so I'd rather get it lower.
Delta 1958, Roger. It doesn't really matter. You can do whatever you want. You're separated.
Alright.
Alright, so Delta 1958, climb maintain flight level 330.
330, Delta 1958.
Let's do this. Let's come on down and see what they're doing.
Southwest 2483, Jacksonville Center, welcome back.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, I'll get into the question. It just triggered me here. Let me do this.
United 212, you're clear direct Grinch.
Direct, yeah, Grinch, United 212.
Okay, the question came in. Pardon me as I'm getting it pulled up here again. From a pilot, it's, I believe, with Sim Air Force. Every time I try to fly LevelUp, so those of you out there familiar with this plane, I have only got, if I've got a dozen flights in it, I'm probably exaggerating. Every time I try to fly LevelUp, one of the engines says low oil pressure. Now, there are a couple of questions I would have. One, you do have positive indications the engine's running. And I know that sounds harsh, but it's kind of like, you know, your car, is the engine actually on? 'Cause sometimes you can't hear it.
Seven Air Force 18, contact Jacksonville Center 133.32.
Oop.
Spirit Wing 724, descend and maintain flight level 350.
350, Spirit Wing 724.
Some Air Force 18 copies 133.32.5. See you. Jacksonville Center, Sim Air Force 18 with you, descending flight level 240.
Sim Air Force 18 Jackson, hello, welcome on board.
Okay. So that's my first on this. That's just, and I'm sure since most of the people who've been there like me quite a while, I've been at Sim Air Force nearly 20 years, if not 20. And this gentleman was there, actually brought me on board. So he's been there even longer. So I'm pretty sure he would have checked that. Secondly, check faults. Make sure you didn't turn your faults on and something happened. Beyond that, I'm not sure. I never had that problem personally with this plane. Not even its counterpart Zebo, and that's only the 737-800. So beyond those three things, I don't know. But hey, there are people here on channel, on YouTube, who fly this plane daily.
Jacksonville Center, Moose 1, did we miss the vector direction?
Moose 1 negative, I'm just waiting. Oh, actually, you are low now. Okay. Moose 1, turn left, heading 330.
330, gotcha.
Sorry, last I saw you, you were still at 6,000, so I thought you were still taking your time to get down.
No, we booked, we got down pretty good.
Good stuff.
This ain't our first rodeo.
And Center Seabreeze 313 airborne at a Int'l passing 1700.
Seabreeze 313, radar contact, climb maintain 9,000. They're clear direct to Therese.
Clear up to 9,000 and direct to Res, Seabreeze 313.
Attention all aircraft, this frequency is being transitioned over to 135.92. You can monitor 135.92. I will call you when I need you. Moose 1, you're 3 miles from Turby. Moose 1, you're 3 miles from Turby. Flighting 330 to intercept the localizer. Maintain 3,000 to establish cleared ILS runway I'm sorry, cleared ILS runway 1.
Jacksonville, Center, good evening. Frontier Flight 1612 with you, flight level 360.
Sorry, who's checked in, Jax?
It's Frontier Flight 1612.
Frontier Flight 1612, Jackson, hello, welcome on board.
Thanks, sir.
Jack Center, Southwest 2689, good evening. With you, flight level 370.
Southwest 2689, Jack Center with your Spirit, welcome on. Number 9 X-ray climb. Sorry, number 9 X-ray climb, maintain for level 350.
Climb maintain 3509 X-ray.
United 212, descend via the Grinch 5 arrival, Orlando altimeter 3000.
Descending via the Grinch 5 arrival 3000 to United 212.
Land Center, or I'm sorry, Jack Center, Southwest 2689. Can I get 5 minutes outside the cockpit?
Sure, come on your back.
We'll call when I return. Southwest 2689.
Mace 1, Jack Center, you up? Never mind.
Evening, Jack Center, American 2888, flight level 320.
American 2888, Jack Center, hello, welcome on board. Delta 595, cross Mady at maintain 11,000, Tampa altimeter 3004.
Cross Media and maintain 11,000, Delta 595.
Air Force 18, descend and maintain for level 180, pilot's discretion.
All right, Sim Air Force 18 will continue to flight level 180 at pilot's discretion. Now you kind of see why I left this discontinuity in between Cousteau's and Savannah. I got a feeling they're going to visual us onto one of the runways.
And Center, Delta 595, I have 5 quick minutes out.
Sure, call back.
I knew if I planned it, they'd change it.
evening, Jacksonville Center, JetBlue 1527, maintaining 36,000 feet, direct to Miru.
JetBlue 1527, Jackson, hello, welcome on board.
Frontier Flight 1612 will be stepping away for 5 minutes.
That's approved, copy. Potential aircraft this frequency, Jacksonville Center is closing in 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
You're not allowed to.
That sucks. Southwest 2483, Atlanta Center 132.97, good night.
Wait, Atlanta Center 132.97. Thank you for the service. See ya.
Gee. American 914, Houston's off, radar service terminated for exchange proof. Bye-bye.
Monitor Unicom, American 914, see ya.
American 800, contact Miami Center 132.2.
32.2 from American 800. Have yourself a good one. See ya.
You too, Chief. Jacksonville, Delta 5 Enterprise back. Ready. Sam Air Force 18, descend and maintain 3000, Savannah, altimeter 29905. You could expect the visual approach runway 10.
All right, down to 3,000, visual 10, some Air Force 18.
Jack Center, Southwest 2689, back in the cockpit.
Jacksonville Center, hello, Delta 2942 at 310.
Delta 2942, Jack Center, hello, welcome on board. Descend via, actually... Alright, yeah, Delta 2492, Jackson, hello, descend via the Odeya 1 arrival, runway 26 transition, Jacksonville altimeters 29905.
29905 of the altimeter via the Odeya 1, expect you 6, runway Delta 2942.
All right, not a lot to talk about on this flight. Wow.
Same Air Force 18, turn right, a right turn heading 240, vectors for descent.
Right turn 180, Sim Air Force 18 with vectors.
And Sim Air Force 18, it's actually going to be 230, heading 230.
Jackson Center, United 1585 with you, cruising at flight level 370.
1585 Jackson, hello, Ida.
And Sim Air Force 18, we're going to 230.
Roger. United 1585 Jackson, hello, ident.
United 1585 I-tenting. Jackson Center, United 564 with you at flight level 390, about 25 nautical miles outside of Buns.
There, 1585 radar contact east of the Belvins intersection, level 370 is reported. Welcome on board. United 564, Jacksonville Center, radar contact position as reported for level 390. Welcome on board. United 212, contact approach 124.8. Good night.
Let's go talk to Chrissy, boy. See you, bud.
JetBlue 1527, can I step away for a little bit?
Sorry, who?
JetBlue 1527.
Yeah, you can just go to advisory. Your frequency change is approved. Good night.
Frequency change approved, JetBlue 1527.
Frontier Flight 1612, we're back.
Roger.
Jackson, giving JetBlue 1600 to flight level 340 at Washington Center to advise us you're closing soon, but we just still gave a call.
Sorry, who? 1050?
JetBlue 16.
Okay, yeah, I'm closing soon, so you can keep on advisories like you were told to.
Okay, thanks.
Delta 1958, you can give Washington a call over 133.72. Good night.
33.7, Delta 1958.
Same Air Force 18, turn right, a right turn heading 040, vectors to final.
Right turn 040, vectors to final. All right, so yeah, not knowing which runway we were going to end up on for quite a while there, uh, kind of put us in a little pickle. We had to go out and come back in.
Air 564, Miami's closing, radar service terminated, frequency change approved, bye-bye.
United 564 switching over to Unicom, have a good day.
United 1585, same for you, Miami's closing, radar service terminated, frequency change approved, bye-bye.
Over to Unicom for United 1585, good day.
United 584, Houston's offline, your radar service terminated, frequency change approved, bye-bye.
Over to advisory, United 584, we'll see you.
Jack
Center, good evening. Blue Streak 5537 on the ground, Daytona Beach with the weather. IFR clearance up to Charlotte, please.
Air Force 18, the airport's going to be at your 3 o'clock, about 16 miles. Do you have it in sight?
Yeah, Sim Air Force has the airport in sight.
Air Force 18, clear to visual approach runway 10.
Cleared visual 10, Sim Air Force 18.
And sorry, for the aircraft that called on ground Daytona Beach, I am closing soon, so you can monitor advisories, or I'm sorry, monitor the CTAF.
We'll monitor CTAF for 5537, thank you.
You're welcome. Air Force 18, wind... Sorry, wind 290 at 6, runway 10, clear to land. Once you're on the ground, you can monitor the CTAF. Have a good night.
All right, cleared to land 10, monitor CTAF on the ground. Thanks for the ATC. See ya.
Quite well. UPS 1225, Washington Center wants you now, 133.72. Good night. Delta 595, Miami's closing, radar service terminated, frequency change approved, bye-bye.
5, have a good evening, see ya.
Sir Breeze 313, I'm closing, and there appears to be nobody else that's going to be covering you, so you can monitor the CTAP. Radar service terminated, frequency change approved. Good night.
We'll see you later, Seabreeze 313, thanks.
American 2888, I'm closing, radar service terminated, frequency change approved. Bye-bye.
Alright, over to Unicorn, American 2888, take care.
Southwest 2689, I'm closing, radar service terminated, frequency change approved, bye-bye.
Heard, over to Unicom for Southwest 2689, see ya.
Sure. November 9, X-ray, I'm closing, radar service terminated, frequency change approved, bye-bye.
Okay, yeah, switching over so long, 9 X-ray.
Delta 2942, I'm closing, radar service terminated, frequency change approved, good night.
Unicom 2942, ciao.
attention aircraft this frequency. Jacksonville Center is closed. No further ATC is available.
See ya.
And Savannah traffic, Sim Air Force 18, about a 3-mile final, runway 10. Savannah traffic, Sim Air Force 18 off 10 to the air guard ramp. All right, let's see. 4 units. All right, welcome to Savannah. Thank you so much for taking some time today. Appreciate you being here. And thank you again. Let's get down here, set this up for the next flight. All right, let's commence with beacons off. All right, welcome to Savannah. I hope you did enjoy. Sorry, we had a lot of stuff going on. And I really hope you enjoyed. Okay, let's take a look at Sim Toolkit. All right, finally got the Pi rep to submit. And Smart Cars 3 got us in with a greased landy at minus 78. Felt like that. and I'm glad one of them will at least say that. All right, I'm going to look at another one here, Elevatech. I don't show this right now because they are very close to bringing it out. So I'm going to leave the fanfare to them, and you all can see it when it goes live. Let's see. Also 75 feet a minute, 142. That's a pretty decent tailwind landing. Now you can see the little button hook we had to do to drop altitude. I was actually still planning runway 1 or 28. So overall, great job. Very confusing in the beginning, but overall a great job. And of course, Sim Toolkit's going to give us a hard time. You can see it 163 at 1G. So, you know, hey, one of them's going to give us a hard time. All right, up here to the top, let's view the details on it. And overall, a really good 1 hour flight, 290 on the overall distance. And 2,300 kilograms, 1.3 for the G's on the landing. I still have my job with the general, and 163 on the feet per minute, 142. All right, and let's see, where are we? We'll show it here. But anyway, we were 24 feet off the center line. Okay, that's my bad. And about 2,000 or so feet down the runway. So now we talked about the spookiness here. Oh, that's as far as we get. Those two little white lines above my cursor, those are the grave markers. Now, if you're a general aviation pilot, you're flying in, they'll ask you. If you ask them about it. When you land, they get you over to ground. Ground will tell you the story, or at least that's what they said on a video I watched. And then when traffic allow you out on the runway to see it and take pictures. Because it is something quite unique having two grave markers, two graves on a runway. So, but anyway, that's where they're at. So fun times here, fun times, good numbers, good landing, fun time, plain and simple. I hope you all enjoyed. We're going to wrap this up right now. Call it a night. Tomorrow we'll come up with something maybe a little longer, or throw another flight in. So for now, I hope you all enjoy. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. May Wednesday, hump day, be a good day for you. As we get closer and closer to the Last Supper, Monday, Thursday, Good Friday. It's hard sometimes to say that it's a good Friday, considering what happened on this date 2,000 years ago. But because we know of Sunday, and we now know the why it happened the way it did, why Jesus had to die for us. I'm going to get into this a little bit. I wasn't planning on it, but you know what? I had a really good devotion this morning from, if you haven't seen it, it's the show The Chosen. Now, what they showed us today is coming out here soon free on their app. However, it's in the theaters right now, so feel free to go watch it. It's a poignant scene where Jesus, hang on, overturns all of the tables, sets free the animals for sacrifice, and all of that. But believe it or not, there is even more to why Jesus, besides the words we're going to hear, why and what was going to open up here. And it's things I never really took and understood until, again, watching the devotions for this week. Up until Jesus arriving back 30 years earlier as a baby, think about that, a baby. He was king in heaven, and he subjected himself not only to being a man in this world, this fallen world, but he came as one of the most innocent, I'll call it creature, innocent human you could ever be, and that is a baby. We have a 1-year-old here all the time. I know what I'm talking about. Don't know anything, although this is God in front of us. His son sitting there, right there in Mary's bosom and Joseph's arms, swaddled. He would go on to teach us. And when he made his last entry into Jerusalem, the words he gave was, "It is written, my house shall be called a house of prayer, but you make it a den of robbers." Now, there's actual prophecies from prophets that would say this would happen. But more to what happened in that scene of overturning and letting loose the sacrificial animals that people would buy to then have sacrificed for their sins. He opened the doors that the system in place held back the poor, held back those that could not buy a sacrifice, held back access to God. By forcing them to buy the animals for their sacrifice. Some couldn't bring them with them. So there were so many things opened up when he put those arms to that cross, not only taking all of our sins and bearing them and being that sacrifice for everyone past, everyone in front of him who just spit, punched, mocked, tortured, and then hammered nails into his hands and feet on that cross, forgiving them of their sins. Father, forgive them. They do not know what they do. Jesus tore the veil when he died. The veil tore. That was the veil that kept mankind from God, that only the chief priests could go back. Again, opening access to God. So, very poignant scene in the temple courtyards when he overturned the money tables, and very, very poignant when you see it in the little video snips we get right now of season 5. Folks, if you haven't seen The Chosen, I highly recommend it. And you are going to watch a brilliant, very well acted, well written portrayal of Jesus's life. And many scenes you will not be able to walk away without a tear in your eye. So, but yeah, like I said, he said to them, "It is written, my house shall be called a house of prayer, but you make it a den of robbers." That's all in Matthew. So I really hope you take time and get to know your Savior, Jesus Christ. He saved you. All you have to do is open your heart and say, "Jesus, come in and save me." Save me literally from myself. You cannot, there is not enough money, not enough things you could do to save yourself. You have to and will need a Savior to live in eternity. Otherwise, it's not a great outcome for you. So, hate to end on that note, but it's also a good note. It's kind of like that Good Friday. You know, remember I told you, boy, this day Jesus died, but yet it's still a Good Friday knowing he opened the way for us to God. Think about that tonight. Those of you already up and in your day, I hope this finds your heart well. Y'all have a great night, great day for those already into it. And we'll see you again tomorrow. God bless you all. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.